and welcome to the Intuitive Entrepreneur Show, where we bring enlightened entrepreneurs, coaches, and influencers together to discuss cutting-edge topics for the world of relationships, culture, business, and spirituality. Here's your host, Max Anjanetta Jones.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Carol's Courage to Confidence segment of the Intuitive Entrepreneur Show. Now, those of you who follow me every Wednesday, and last Wednesday, first Wednesday of the month, I didn't have any guests. It just got to be you and me. Let me know how you felt about that last week. I'm excited for our guests that are here today, but I'm your weather girl. It is a beautiful, hot, sunny day here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and my guests are going to tell us what the weather's like where they are too. So I'm excited to be here today. Denise, kick us off and let us know where you're chiming in from and what the weather's like where you are.
Yes. Hey, everyone. I'm Denise Hansard. I'm your life architect and intuitive geek. And I'm in the mountains of North Carolina, just below Asheville, and it is hot and humid. It's sunny and hot and humid.
So you may be in the mountains, but you got weather like I've got here, right?
Yes, indeedy.
Except in the wintertime, you actually have winter. We just have summer, more summer, and less summer.
Yes, which I like the winter. Trust me on that.
All right, Miss Holly, talk to us.
Hi, I'm Holly McNeill, the creator of the Pure Love mindfulness and meditation practices, and I'm in sunny Southern California, although we've had a really cool winter and spring, so it's partly cloudy, about 65 today. This weekend it's supposed to get up to 80, but that's what we're supposed to be getting like all the time. But anyway, I'm happy to be here. Thanks,
fantastic. Good to have you. And Miss Blaire.
Hi, everyone. I am Blaire Kaplan Venables. I am the founder of the Global Resilience Project and CEO of Blaire Kaplan Communications. I'm a social media expert and resilience thought leader. And I'm here today in Kamloops, British Columbia, Canada. And you guys have very different weather, all of you, than me. It has finally become spring, so it's warm, but not humid, and things are growing. So beautiful sunny day here.
Fantastic. That's beautiful. First thing I'd like to hop into, because AI is all the rage. Let's just talk a little bit about that, because I get a different feel on all kind of people. It's dangerous. It's going to take my job, or it's great for getting new clients posted. Denise, start us off and let us know what your thoughts are on AI today.
Here's what I say about anything new that comes in is we have the opportunity to grow. And that's what I tell people. It's all about the transformation. I think AI is a great way to help us to grow and get out of our comfort zone. And I use AI to give me ideas. It's not that I take that information and just go with it. It inspires me and helps to motivate me and then put my own self into it. If I need a title, if I need, just a beginning sentence, even for something, I love it.
So you see it as a jump starter for your creativity.
I do. Yeah. Because you know what? I do videos, I write, I coach, write my own programs, books, newsletters, everything, blogs. And after having done it for 10 years, sometimes I need a little bit of help.
Fair enough. We all need help. We all need help at one time or another. Holly, tell us your thoughts, please, ma'am.
Well, it's interesting because my journey from a low point at age 34 has been one of discovery and kind of just checking out new things. And recently I've been introduced by, first of all, my stepkids and their friends to Chat GBT. And I'm getting ready to do a show in Hollywood at the Hollywood Fringe Festival, and just writing my news release and just my press release. It's amazing. It blows me away, right? I'm fascinated by it. I love science fiction. So, you see, all the things what's in the future, but it's fascinating and it's joyful to be a part of it. But you see what this can do for us and the world. Yeah. Pretty
fantastic. Cool. How about you, Miss Blaire?
I liked both those answers. So I'm a vintage millennial. So I am of the era between analog and digital, in the sense of social media marketing just became a thing when I started my business in 2008. So I had to adapt. And anything new is scary, like Denise said, but I think AI is, for marketing, for sure, in my world, the way of the future. It's an efficiency tool. Yeah. It's an efficiency tool, but it can't replace a human touch. You can't just create and post. I mean, you can, but people can see through it. Like, people know when you're not authentic. People will start being able to tell what's written by a person and what's written by AI. And I've tested out both, and it's true. People know when it's AI and people know when it's me. So I think it's a great tool for productivity. For example, the other day, I'm preparing to fly to Africa on Friday. That's a 20-hour journey.
Wow.
And so I'm preparing. So I'm creating a bunch of blog posts so I can like write them and edit them. In an hour, I created like 10 different blog post frames, like basically the basic meat and bones. And I'm going to add the flesh and the muscles and the skin on the airplane. You know how long it would take to write 10 posts without AI? A long time. So I use it as a tool to help me.
Well, I guess I'm a little bit behind the curve. There's a group that I attend on Friday mornings. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Innovation Women.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a speaker and you're not in Innovation Women, reach out. Let's get you in there, because she's all about getting women on stages, promoting and getting them paid, parity for what men get paid. And I've missed a few Fridays, but I was on last Friday, and that's why I brought this question up. So one of the ladies was talking about how she had self-published. She had self-published several books. And now she's going to have her next book, which she wants to be her biggest book, right, being published. And there's a huge, huge challenge with using AI in the book. And people had all these opinions until this attorney pops on. She goes, okay, I'm the attorney. And she's like, they have programs they will run it through, and they will know how much of that book is AI. If you self-publish, it's not the same as if somebody else has published. So that was all new to me. And she actually sent us a link. I think I copied it and sent it to somebody, but I can send it to you if you ever want to know. If you're thinking about doing a book, this attorney was, of course, it kind of went over my head.
Wait, so if you are self-publishing, you can't use AI, or you can?
Well, they're just not going to check it as much, right? Because there's not a publisher to check it, right?
Who's the they? Who's checking?
Well,
if you use a publisher.
Yeah, an agent, publisher. Yeah, you've got the guardrails if you go
There's no one to check if you do it yourself. I get it.
Right. And but the limit was small. You couldn't have very much AI in your book at all.
Wow, that is fascinating, because I said I'm doing this show in Hollywood at the Hollywood Fringe Festival in June. So if anyone's up in LA in June, anyway, and so I wrote the whole show, right, myself, obviously, and then I discovered this AI for my news release and other things. So it improved it. And I thought about, wow, I could actually just stick my whole show in there and see what it spit out. But, it's not authentic then, right? You have to do what's right. You're going to know, right? You have to do what's right for yourself and for the people you're trying to reach out to.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you yourself have to be in it. We're all saying the same thing. And Carol, you need to get on it and learn it, because it's very easy. You just have to put in the right prompts. That's all. But it's like becoming that authentic self. It's like I said, I use it for inspiration to get me going. I'm a natural born storyteller. But again, sometimes you just have that blank screen that you're looking at, and all of a sudden you're going, oh my God, what do I write on? And honestly, guys, we get our inspiration from many different places. We get them from movies, from TV series, from music, from other emails, people that send out things like that. So we've always gotten inspiration in many different ways. Now it just feels like sci-fi has suddenly invaded us, and we're on the Enterprise, which I would go in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Well, definitely it's a tool, right? Yeah.
What about the writers' union out in Hollywood? They're all on strike now because they think they're going to be replaced. What do you think about that?
You know what I have to say again, it's their opportunity to grow. They don't have to be replaced. Everybody thinks that machines are going to replace us. Well, guess what? In certain areas, they already have. I remember my father working for General Motors, and all of a sudden they went to the line methodology, to where machines were doing things. It was a blessing, and yet at some things, other people got laid off. We've had it in our life for a long time. It's just, how open are you to change and learning something new? Because
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, Holly, I'm done. I could talk forever, but go.
I'm a big believer with this amazing journey I've been on. I mean, I'm an architect by trade. I've done hospitals, and like I said, at age 34, I made this vow to change. and was on this journey, and everything I needed showed up. So I'm a huge believer that everything happens for a reason. And the challenge that comes into those writers' lives because of this is trying to show them something, right? They each have to look into themselves, how they're going to respond to it. And definitely in, I don't know, 3 to 5 years, whatever, even probably a lot sooner than that, we're going to know what effect it is, what it has on writing in general. But yeah, it's really like this whole group of people all of a sudden have to face this demon, and how ready are they to face that question?
Yeah.
That's a great segue, because you talked about facing demons, and Denise talked about getting out of our comfort zone. So I'd like each one of you to go around and tell me, what's one unique thing that you do to help your clients do exactly that? Get out of their comfort zone and embrace change and do something different. Blaire, let's start with you.
Well, I wear multiple hats, as you may remember from my intro. And so with the Global Resilience Project, it's a safe space for people to share stories of resilience and a container for big feelings. And we do this through books, podcasts. I'm a motivational speaker that travels around the world. We have merchandise and whatever strategic partnerships come our way. And what we provide is a safe space for people who've never shared their stories of overcoming life's challenges. We provide a safe, easy way for them to do that, which, there's people like us in business, but then there's the rest of the world who are humans living a human experience. And a lot of us are the walking wounded, and sharing your story is scientifically proven to help you heal. And so we help people heal that way.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. How about you, Denise?
I like to keep it very simple. And what I do is I have, like I said, storyteller, and I come up with these words that then I can turn into a process. For example, I'll give you a very simple one. Heal, H-E-A-L. Well, the way I break that down is it's honor emotions, activate love. Mm-hmm. Because when you heal yourself, that's what you're doing. You're looking inside, honoring and looking at the emotions that you have, and then turning it into love, because that's a loving process. There's one called clear, choice, language, energy. I can't remember the others, but it's like, right now it's like I try to break it down so they have these simple tools in which to begin to shift and to change and help them to get out of their comfort zone.
Awesome. How about you, Miss Holly?
What I love about Per Love and my journey is that, like, from this low point, I went on the search across the country and from coast to coast, reading books, lectures. I practiced Buddhism for 5 years. And what I found is that all the teachers and gurus from millennial ago to today all kind of point back to a few simple truths about ourselves. And so these practices teach us those truths. Each of us has between 6,000 and 70,000 thoughts a day. Right? Most of them are negative. They repeat. We create our lives from them. And so this practice helps us, it challenges people to first watch your mind, pay attention, evaluate what you created out of all those negative thoughts, because 80% are negative, as I said, and then recognize them as they come up in your daily life as targets for change. Right? And when you do that, this space opens up of who you really are. And your mind is available to explore so much more about the truth of who you are and why we're here.
So you bring up something for me. In the last 3 weeks, now I knew who Bob Proctor was. I didn't know a lot about what he does, right? And all of a sudden, Bob Proctor is all over my world in 3 weeks, like all over. So part of my challenge, really, it's not reading the Think and Grow Rich and studying myself and seeing my behavior. It's the visualization piece. What advice would you have? For example, one of the gentlemen, his name is Dave Conway. He not only worked with Bob Proctor, but then he became Bob Proctor's sales coach, right? So he did this free masterclass, or whatever you call it, 3 weeks ago. And he wanted us to visualize this lavender light coming down or something. Like, mine didn't have any color. So talk to me about your thoughts on visualization and the power of what Bob Proctor teaches. And does it have any place in what you do? I would love to know that. Holly?
Well, I again, from the practices and from what I learned, we have only so much kind of energy in our mind, right? And There's a great movie called What the Bleep Do We Know? It came out in 2004, and Dr. Joe Dispenza in it says that nerve cells that fire together wire together, creating long-term relationships. So over time, if we're thinking a lot of negative stuff or whatever, we're so clogged up in that it's hard to bring in new thoughts and new ideas, right? So when we can start to recognize those things, I'm all about creating space so that those objects of meditation, that ability to focus your mind is available and possible to you. So when I get to the second half of the formula, which is love, the more spiritual path part of it, you explore that space, expand that space, and use those kind of objects of meditation to really kind of blow away your negative thoughts, emotions, and feelings at a much faster pace and realize your true nature.
So my brain needs some Drano, right?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. That's a good way to put it.
But don't drink.
I say it's like discovering the empty trash button in your biocomputer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Miss Blaire, what are your thoughts?
So I've been manifesting since before I knew manifesting was a thing. And I'm a writer. Like as a little kid, I processed emotions by writing in my diary. And it's interesting because I've published a few books, and my mom recently passed away, and we were cleaning out the house, and she kept everything. And I found a bunch of my old journals and diaries from when I was in elementary school. And I was writing things I forgot I wrote about, will I ever be a published writer? I would love my poems to be published one day. And like a list of editors I know, and it was just my uncle, but I wanted to write a book, and I completely forgot about that. I grew up and life happened. And then later one day was like, I want to write a book. And I didn't remember that. And what I realized reflecting on things that have come into my life, there are things that I've set goals for. There are things that I have a vision board for. So when for visualization, I created a vision board for 2023, and it's the back of my, I'm on my phone almost all day, every day, in the world of social media. My phone is my vision board. I look at it all day, and things are coming true on it. I just spoke to the biggest audience I've ever spoken to in the theater that literally looked like something on my vision board. And
that is awesome. Congratulations.
It wasn't like bingo. I wasn't trying to check things off. I'm just living my life. And so I don't even know the science behind it. And I mean, Holly and Denise, you might, but I'm just here for the good times. I'm going to manifest and see what happens.
Good for you.
Good for you. How about you, Miss Denise?
Well, number one, I love the fact that you even tried it, because that's the beginning. And I do think that you probably, like Holly said, you're a little bit too up in your head. And so it is about calming your system down. And the one thing, because I use it all the time, do workshops on vision boards, visualization, manifesting. And I, like Blaire, have been manifesting all of my life too. One thing I teach my clients is you don't have to do it perfectly. For you, it could be the essence of violet. How does that feel? You may not see the colors, but how does it feel? What does it make you feel like in your body? Because it's energy, and that's all it is. And What the Bleep Do We Know? I absolutely love that movie.
Yes.
You know what's really funny?
Have you seen it, Blaire? Have you seen it?
Well, I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it. It's funny. When I was younger, I worked for Lululemon, and they're very big into professional development, 05 to 08. And I studied Bob Proctor. And actually, right before he passed away, I spoke on stage with him on a virtual stage.
Wow.
So it was full circle. Brian Tracy was the first time I ever did professional and personal development. And I shared the stage also with Brian Tracy. I was like, well, this is a full circle moment.
Amazing. Amazing.
But basically, Carol, you want to get back into the fact that do it perfectly imperfect. That's all it's about. Because once you create the awareness of what it is, go into your body and feel it more than anything.
Yeah,
I would say
that's a growth area for me. Back in 2021, I helped teach an 8-week course on quantum. So anyway, long story short, this guy, Marco, comes on and says something. And the lady who's facilitating it says, Carol, what are your thoughts on that? And I gave my thoughts, and everybody's laughing. They go, yep, Marco's the woo-woo, Carol's the practical. And yeah. Just meeting Max. Quick story on how I met Max. I'd never been online, didn't want to be online. I'm the shake your hand, give you a hug girl. Part of my background is 26 years as a corporate sales executive, right? So I love meeting people. So within 2 months of COVID, somehow I get on this Zoom with Max. And Max leans in and she goes, you know why you don't have very many clients right now? I had lost some clients with COVID because they said, I lost my job. I can't pay you, right?
Mhm.
And I looked at her and I go, I didn't tell you that I don't have very many clients. And she leans in and she goes, oh, didn't I tell you I'm clairvoyant? I'm like, what?
Nice.
She says, I'm clairvoyant. She's all the voyants, audiovoyant, whatever.
Wow. Nice.
Cognizant, clairaudience, clairsentient, all of those.
All those things, right? So a couple of months passes by and we get on another Zoom. She goes, Carol, you're really going to have to give up this love of private one-on-one coaching. What do you think I did? I said, that's not all I do. And she goes, yes, it is. I told you I'm clairvoyant.
Wow. She sounds great. I'd love to meet her.
She is. Max is hoot. So I'm like probably many years behind you guys on understanding all of that. And yet some of the work that I do, Jeff will remind me, Carol, you do energy work. I'm like, oh, no, I don't. He goes, yes, you do.
Yeah.
Because you'd be surprised at some of the stuff that you say. And I'm like, okay.
Wow. Yeah, that means you're there. I mean, part of that is maybe stuff you don't, right? You don't know your own talents, right? Coming through. It's hard to see them. That's great.
Yeah.
Max said to me recently, she goes, one of your superpowers is quickly finding the unseen and the unknown in people. And you don't recognize it as a superpower.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You just do it. So that's cool. What do you think your biggest superpower is, Denise?
My empathic abilities.
Cool.
I can immediately walk in and go, and see something inside someone.
Oh, that's awesome. How about you, Holly?
I'd say clarity. You know, like I said, I'm an architect. I'm still an architect. I retired from architecture to write 5 years ago. But my job in doing hospital work was putting huge puzzles together. And so one day I printed out a book proposal for a book I'm writing and still hope to publish one day. And I looked at it and it was like the lights came on. The final piece of the puzzle showed up, this path. It was freaking amazing. And so the clarity and simplicity of the practices, I guess, would be, and giving people an easy way, to start. Starts with 6 minutes a day.
Cool. Miss Blaire.
My superpower is turning pain into purpose.
Nice.
And you get people to tell stories, right? To do that.
Exactly. I had helped people find the silver lining after the storm. It's always in hindsight, there's a lesson. And I had a lot of trauma recently. Like I'm in my late 30s and it's heavy. I don't know if this is a space for it, but
this is open forum.
Okay, cool. Content warning. My story's heavy. If I trigger you, hit pause, walk away. You need to connect you to a mental health professional. Let me know. I'll find one in your area. In a matter of just years, I learned my dad was going to die. My husband almost died. My grandfather died. On the way home from his funeral, I got a concussion. We had a miscarriage. I don't have kids. We wanted kids. Told I couldn't get pregnant. Got pregnant. Miscarried. 3 weeks later, my father-in-law suddenly died from a short battle with cancer. 3 months later, my mother suddenly died after a short battle with cancer. And my dad died the same year as my mom. So I literally I'm not just telling people I'm showing people like I got through it. And I know there's experiences out there far worse than mine. And I know some people may never have the pain I've endured, but I've learned scientific ways to show people how to strengthen their resilience muscle. And storytelling is one of those ways. So I'm a beacon of hope for people who are going through hard stuff. They're like, well, you survived it. And I'm like, yeah, it was hard, but I did it.
That is hard. That's a lot of loss in a short period of time.
That is. Yeah.
It is. Luckily, my husband's okay and his mom's still alive. And I have a sister in the other side part of Canada. So I still have family. But it was a lot of important people dying in a very short period of time.
Yeah. That is a lot.
But your moniker, if you will, turning pain into purpose. Is that what you said, right? Turning pain into purpose.
Nice.
You're so in alignment with that. It's
I mean, like I literally have a company, like a movement, a social enterprise called the Global Resilience Project. That's why I'm going to Africa. We opened a children's center in Ghana and I'm teaching workshops on resilience and social media while I'm there.
Love it.
Well, we partnered.
Love it.
All the credit. That's way actually was his vision. I just helped fund it. But
That's awesome.
Yeah. I think at some point we all have kind of that dark night of the soul.
Yeah.
And then we have choices within that. So congratulations, Blaire.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And you, Carol, for all of your contributions you're making to the world.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. So we're coming close to the end of our show. This has been awesome. And everybody, I'm going to go around the horn and you get to tell us how people can connect with you. Who is your ideal client? We're going to do that. And then I'm going to come around with one follow-up question at the end. So Miss Denise, lead us off.
Okay. Very simple. All you have to do is find me at denisehansard.com, DENISIRD.com. Who do I serve? I serve women who are looking to move out of the corporate life into their side hustle. Maybe straddling the fence for a while. I call it the corporate escape artist. I'm just beginning that. And I do some one-on-one coaching also on life's transformations.
Fantastic. And your information has been scrolling across the bottom of the screen, and people will be able to find it on the replay as well. How about you, Miss Holly?
So my website is pureloveformula.com. And if you sign up for my newsletter, I have a 1-hour free class for you that goes through each one of these practices. And also then if it's something you want to get into deeper, I have a forum where we delve into things, into these practices twice a month. It's very low cost. My biggest goal is that these practices outlive me. And if you're in Hollywood this summer in June, please come to our show. You'll also find that on the website. It's called The Lost Formula to Happiness. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you, Carol.
Thank you. Now, Miss Blaire.
I'm interested to see what oh, there's the website. I'm like, which website did I give you? Okay. So but everything that I do is housed under blairekaplan.ca.
Okay.
That's my social media and publicity work. If you want to be seen as a thought leader, that's how I can help you. And then the globalresilienceproject.com is all things to do with resilience. There we actually have a free guide on how to strengthen your resilience muscle. If you want to be in the book, on the podcast, you can find everything there. Yeah.
Are you doing any kind of GoFundMe fundraising for that resiliency project? How are you getting your funds?
Oh, that's a great question, Carol. So my business, Blaire Kaplan Communications, is currently funding it because it started off as a legacy project to honor my dad. And me, he lived with addiction. I forgave him and we were resilient. Our story was inspiring people, but now it's a global movement. So I'm actually working with a CEO in mapping that out. But to be in the book, there is a cost. Because I'm a speaker, that helps fund it. We launched a merchandise line with like sassy, inspirational words. And we're going to be launching some programs. So
cool. Awesome.
There's no GoFundMe for me, but there is a GoFundMe for the Ghana After School Center.
Oh, that's good.
Fantastic.
Amazing.
Make sure and go in the group and put that in there as well. Let's get that promoted. So Denise, final thing, going around the horn.
Okay.
If you were gonna tell our audience one thing, you're gonna leave them with one thought that's gonna impact their lives. What would you tell them?
Everything you do is a choice.
Powerful. Very powerful. Holly.
I'm so glad you asked me that, because there's one thing I can tell everyone. If there's anything you want to learn, if there's anything you want to change, you want to make habit, manifest in your life, you must read it, you must listen to it, you must practice it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And then do it some more.
That's a challenge. You know, I'm starting over for the third time. The Bob Proctor person 3 weeks ago said, I want you to go. First, I didn't understand the instructions. So I read the chapter on imagination in Think and Grow Rich. And she said, and study yourself. So I sat there for 30 minutes going, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. So then the next day I read the chapter on faith. And long story short, she comes back to me. She goes, no, I want you to read the chapter on imagination 21 days in a row.
That's how long it takes to make a habit. That's right.
I'm starting over for the third time. I'm like Monday through Friday, I'm pretty good. Saturday and Sunday, I don't know what happens to me, but that's been a challenge. What would you leave us with, Miss Blaire?
Can I say two things?
You can say three things.
I don't want to break the rules, but actually I don't make the rules. I just break the rules. So one, with my social media hat on, it is just social media. Like no one's going to die if you don't make a post or you don't follow the algorithm. F the algo. It's just social media, people. Coming from an expert. Two, you are resilient. You're alone. You got this.
Mm-hmm.
You got
and my thought that I would leave is, I believe God only gave me a lamplight for my feet because my job is to trust in the process and take the next step. And that's what I would share with everybody else. Trust in the process and take the next step.
Yes.
Perfect. Perfect.
Ladies, you have been amazing.
Yes, this has been really fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Love it. Love it.
Come back and see us again. I love doing this show. We have a blast. This has been Carol's Courage to Confidence segment of the Max and Janetta Jones Intuitive Entrepreneur Show. Come back next Wednesday. We're going to have different guests, and who knows, maybe one of these lovely ladies will come back. Reach out to them. They can have a way to impact your lives, and that's what we're here for, is make a difference in the lives of others. Blessings, and until next week, Godspeed.
The Intuitive Entrepreneur Show is hosted by Max and Janetta Jones and is brought to you by Life Coaching Today magazine, empowering your health, business, community, and life. This has been a production of True Awesome Life Productions, who asked, what does your true awesome life look like? Start that journey today at trueawesomelife.com. For more information on this or past episodes,